So welcome to another video from thePlayers8.com. My name's Alexander.
And I'm Grant.
And today we're taking a look at Eschaton from Archon Games.
This is one of the greatest games that I've ever played.
This is a Dudes on a Map game from 2017.
And it's so good. We've played this 2 or 3 times, and I just have a blast with it every single time.
This is probably my favorite game in this genre.
I would agree.
And so this isn't the normal fare that we have on this channel.
No.
And so I want to sit down and make a little quick review of like, hey, go and buy this. That's the message of this video.
It's so good.
Go and buy this. Because we played this at WBC on our very last day. It was you and me and Mike played a little 3-player game of this to kind of wind it down. Mm-hmm. That was one of the last things that we did. And, you know, it's been a year or two since we played it. And it was just like, oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. It was everything that I had remembered it being. Everything that I loved about it was still there. And, and I think it's good fun.
I think it's important to point out Mike is a hardcore wargamer.
Yes.
This guy plays Atlantic Wall,
yeah, he's playing GOS, ASL,
yeah.
GCACW.
He does not play... that's not true.
Yeah.
He does Cthulhu Wars. So take that his opinion with a grain of salt, because Cthulhu Wars is trash. not garbage. Sorry, Mike. But he played this and he's like, man, that was really, really good. And we're like, hell yeah, it's good. We've played this with our brother-in-law and father-in-law. They both had the same opinion. They thought, oh, this is amazing. There's nothing not to like about it. It is dudes on a map, backed up by deck building, and a very different style of deck building. The deck building is kind of an accelerated deck building, where if you get the right cards and use their abilities appropriately to draw more cards, man, you can be drawing... I'm trying to think, when we played this last, I drew like 9 or 10 cards in one... Got my hand to 5, and I think I drew like 8 or 9 other cards.
And that sounds crazy, but you're doing that because you also need to like sacrifice and get rid of your cards
and thin your deck
onto your altar to keep your deck as small as it can be, so it's really lean and really clean. But the mechanics allow you to do that in a way that's really, really like fun.
It's the ability called Zeal, I believe, and a lot of the cards don't have it. Those that do, it's typically 1 or 2, which means you can draw 1 or 2 additional cards. There are some of the special cards, though, that draw 3 or 4. And I got a couple of those in my deck, and oh my gosh, that can just turn this into an avalanche. And a lot of times people will hate games a lot like that, right? But everybody has the same ability to do that. You've just got to focus on doing that. And don't forget, the game is actually about the meeples on the board,
and
the cubes on the board.
It's not a long game.
No, it's not.
You have a very fixed amount of turns that it can be.
I want to say 10 or 12?
I think it's less than that.
Yeah.
I think it's
not
like
many.
9. And yeah, even then. And so you're doing this for a fixed amount of time. You know what it is. You know the constraints you're working with. And it's about getting it done, getting it lean. You can play up to 6 players in this, which would be an absolute bloodbath.
We've played it with 4 and 3, and it's just like 6 players would be amazing.
They would be good fun. I think 3 or 4 might be a really good sweet spot between almost no downtime. And
6 would have a lot of downtime, and you would just be at each other's throats.
You'd do all your stuff, and it would get back to your turn, and everyone would be dead.
Yeah.
But everyone else would also be dead.
Agreed.
Now, the theme of this game is it's like the end of the world. Like, it's the apocalypse.
Actually, I think the word Eschaton literally means like the end of time.
Yes.
So they aptly named the game based on the theme.
So you are, like, you each play as like a specific different cult, and you are trying to curry favor of the Dark One and usher in the end times and be the best cult at the end of the game.
Yeah.
And so you have this very dark theme of it, and you're using all of these different cards that are like monsters and medieval things
crazy
from like
acolytes.
myth and lore, and you're going through like relics and spells and abilities that are like magical. And so it's like, it's great fun. And you also, with the expansion, which has I don't know the names of the expansions.
So the Sigils of Ruin is the best expansion.
It's like a must buy.
Yeah, and it adds the, what are they called, Paladins?
It adds the
What are they called?
what are they called? Inquisitors.
Inquisitors.
But this also adds the different cults as well.
It
like
does.
the unique abilities.
The abilities,
that
yep.
give you like a champion and then
Yep.
like the what do you call that? The avatar.
The avatar.
Like you want that because that gives you the real differentiation of flavor.
Yep.
Like, oh, I'm the plague guys. I'm spreading
Yep.
around plagues, and like you're the I don't know, different guys.
Yeah.
And they all have their different cool stuff that they do. That really like elevates the game as well. But even when we played the base game,
Yeah, it was great.
fun anyway.
Yeah.
But I say that because when we've talked about this game, some people don't like the theme because it's too dark.
And I get that. There's a lot of people out there that don't like the concept of the occult and magic, and I get that. I'm able to differentiate real life from that. This
Yeah.
is just a game.
I think
right?
about it less occulty, even though it's pretty heavy. But like,
Sure.
I can think of it in more of like a D&D occulty kind of way,
Right.
Where it's just not that serious.
Yeah.
But I understand that it's not
Yep, I
everyone's
totally
cup of
get it
tea,
as well.
But it absolutely is my cup of tea.
Yep.
And the mechanics are really slick.
Yep.
This is such a well done game. It's really tight. The rules are really clean.
Yeah.
Every decision is like, ugh.
Yep.
And then you get your engine going, and if you can keep your deck as lean as it needs to be, you go through the game just like this. It's really tight, and it's
Yeah.
just like packs such a huge punch in a really, really great time frame.
Well, and I think the other thing that I very much enjoy about it, being a dudes on a map style of game, that is where the core of the game is.
Yeah.
It is played out on the board. It is an area control game. You are going to go through this game scoring points based on how many and which of these territories you are controlling. But the reality is you're not going to hold them for long.
No.
You are at each other's throats. You're using your, I can't remember the name of the ability, but it's your warfare ability.
Yes.
Where you're gaining
Aggression.
a certain amount of cubes, and you're able to, for one of those cubes, you can remove a cube of an enemy. And then you can place a cube of yours. And it's all about ultimately, oh, I control that area. I get the benefit. The Great Road gives you a +1 zeal token, which is really important, you know, and so you're fighting over these, and at the end of the game, you're going to score points based on which of these areas you control. I also enjoy, there are objectives,
Yes.
like every turn, that are very different, and if you can do those things, you gain extra whatever.
Yeah, so
More cards or more people or more points or...
basically there's a little timer deck.
Yes.
And you'll have so there's 2 cards and then one of those
Yep.
eventy ones. I can't remember what they're called. And so like the first one will be like, hey, for this whole round, there's some special ability in effect. And
Yep.
the next one will be the same thing. And then this third one will be like, hey, the next time one of these types of cards come up, whoever has the most relics in their, on their altar, or omen cards, the person who controls the Isle of Storms,
Yep.
they will get 9 points. 9 points is a lot of points.
It's a lot of points in this game.
And so what that does is it gives you like an additional focus to like, everyone's rushing over here and fighting over here.
Yep.
And then that gets adjudicated. And there'll be another one in a couple of cards' time. And you're doing different things. So,
Yep.
and there's a lot of those.
Well,
You'll
and
use like 2 or 3 in a game,
You're
and there's
never
a ton
going,
of variants.
There's so much variability there. And I think that's one of the reasons that having the expansions adds to the flavor and the depth of the game.
Just get more.
You just get more of it. The other thing I very much enjoy about it, you have a limited number of actions. They're called powers, right? And they're things like marching around the board, very important. They're things like putting out those plague markers, because a plague marker in a spot means that at the beginning of their turn, they have to remove
2 guys.
2 guys.
And every player who's there has to
right.
at the beginning of every one of their turns.
So it can affect you as well, but that can be devastating. And
Yeah.
those don't go away until they run their course.
Yeah.
So they're
the
there
plague stays until everyone's
until
gone.
they're dead. Curses are also there's just so many interesting concepts. Dispelling those curses is one of the abilities. And then using the auras and the spells.
Yeah.
And
the auras are real strong.
There's just so many different aspects that I think create such a thematic experience, but also create a damn fun game.
Just fun.
I've enjoyed this. We've played this. I think we've played it 3 times.
Yeah.
I have enjoyed it every single time. And I think this last time we played was my most enjoyable because I think we had actually kind of worked all the bugs out. And it's like, oh, I get the game now, and I know exactly what I'm supposed to be doing.
And it was almost a level of nostalgia of like, oh yeah, this game was amazing.
Yep.
And I like, this is a game that if someone had just like walked up to my house, knocked on the front door, and was like, hey, do you want to play this? I'm like, yes, immediately, right now. Like, there is never a time I wouldn't say yes to a game of this.
Well, and it was funny too. We had this game set up at one of the tables. How many people stopped?
Oh, so many.
Half a dozen. And they're like rubbernecking and gawking and then asking, what is this game? And we're like, Eschaton. Check it out. Archon Games.
You gotta get it.
And everybody looked at it. And to me, that it has a table presence, beautiful table presence.
As do most dudes on a map games, right?
Yeah.
They look great.
And it's funny, I bought the upgraded components with the cultists. You know what? I'll never use these.
Yeah.
Because I like the way the cubes look. I bought these probably as a completionist, but they just don't look as good on the board. But the table presence is amazing. The cards, the art style, it's just all really good. This is a small indie company. These guys have this and I think 2 other games.
Yeah.
This is by far their best game. They've done 3 expansions now. I've bought all 3 of the expansions. I unfortunately had not received the newest expansion until after WBC. But I now have that, and there's a cool card conclave box.
Which is awesome, because
I can
this
stack
takes up a lot of
my
space
gosh,
with all the cards.
I can stack all those cards in there and keep them in. I can't wait to organize it. I just haven't had a chance. But this is going to be a mainstay. When we go to conventions and conferences, we need to play this at Buckeye Game Fest next year.
Yes, without question.
We need to take it and get a 6-player game of this, and
Because
I think people will be excited.
It's so easy to learn and play.
Yep.
Most people already know the mechanics, and it's just tying them all together.
Yep.
And it's one that most people haven't played, so they get to do something new and fresh. But also, it's just so solid, and it does not overstay its welcome.
Yep.
Like, it's just like, it's really tight, and then you get it done, and it was awesome.
Yep. I do know this game's available. You can go on their Archon Games website. It's very affordable. They have all their expansions. I bought this at Gen Con probably 4 years ago.
Oh, much
5
longer
years
than that.
ago.
I think we bought it in 2018.
Okay. And I remember we were walking by and I saw it and I was like, that's the most interesting looking game I've ever seen. I talked to one of the owners of the company. We kind of looked at the board. I pushed some dudes around. I'm like, give me a copy of that. And I think I got all the expansions that they had. And
And it's amazing.
it is a great game. It really. I can't think of one thing that I don't like about it.
Nope.
It doesn't overstay its welcome. You're talking about 30 to 40 minutes. Very interesting. Very little downtime. The cards work amazingly well, and I love dudes on a map game. It hits for me. It ticks all the boxes.
Yeah, this is the kind of game that we were playing before we were doing wargaming, and it's one of the best of those kinds of games. This is
Agreed.
like peak of this genre, and I love it.
Yep.
I think it's just like it looks so different from all the other ones. It's got its own unique theme and vibe to it, and it's extremely tightly done from a mechanical standpoint.
Yep.
So, highly recommend. You got to check out Eschaton from Archon Games. Appreciate you very much for tuning in. I've been Alexander from theplayersaid.com.
And I'm Grant.